Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Little Nightmares 2 theory video, and I wanted to today analyse and theorise about a very interesting cheese secret room in the Little Nightmares 2 demo, and why this room in particular is frightening and full of information at the same time. So this is your spoiler warning. So this theory video will obviously contain information from the Little Nightmares 2 demo and possibly the trailers. Anyway, with that out of the way, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to two members that actually asked me about this secret room and prompted me to go check it out. And they're Ryan Smith on Twitter and 2D on Discord. Thank you both so much. So, with that being said, let us continue on in this video. So, when Mono enters the bedroom through the vent in the wall, we come across a rather lovely looking toilet. Gross. Ew. Then, of course, we see this lovely bit of cheese on a plate, with an eye wrote onto the wall next to it. Now, when I first saw this, I thought it was a little Easter egg in itself, and a throwback to the chef who loved to stuff cheese in his pocket. But after being informed about the possibility that we missed a secret room, I of course had to go and check it for myself. And lo and behold, here it is. So if we take the cheese and head up rather than down, we come across a gap in the bars, which have been purposely cut open. You can see this by the evidence left behind on the floor in the form of the saw that is used to cut through these metal bars, and the rust around the ones cut. As we carry on, we see a door, one we have not seen during this demo, but in Little Nightmares, the prison chapter. As we enter, we are greeted with an explosion of hints and mystery. Not only is there a huge gaping hole that has been dug through with what looks like these spoons scattered around the place, there seems to be something in there. But before we get into that, notice how the walls are littered with the same tally markings as 6 did in the Hunter's chapter in the room, the one we saw on the trailer, automatically leaving us to note that someone was trapped in here marking down their days, just like 6 was in that room. We also notice an eye symbol on the wall among all these markings, also a hint to drop the piece of cheese into the hole. And last but not least, the most weirdest thing of all, the hole that has been dug. But what's worse is that it contains an enemy to Mono and children alike. That's right, another thing trying to hurt us in the world of Little Nightmares. Surprise. But what is this creature exactly? When we take a listen, it sounds pretty simple. It sounds like a bunch of rats. Take a listen. Seems pretty harmless, right? Well, not in this world. You see, these rats seem pretty hungry, and chucking them in the cheese, they seem to eat it right up. But what happens when Mono enters? Yep, he's also pulled apart just like that piece of cheese. And I know what you're thinking. My, how the tables have turned. So, the creature is just some hungry rats? Well, actually, I don't think it is. And I think this is the game's sneaky way of throwing us off guard with the cheese and the rat noises. But, as we all know, half of what makes this game what it is our ability to test things and find evidence ourselves. So we can come up with what is our own conclusion. So I'm going to theorise what my conclusion of this is. And it isn't just some rats. Evidence number 1. When you chuck things other than the piece of cheese in the hole, it gets thrown back up. We know the sizes of rats as we have seen them all in the mall. They wouldn't be able to throw things like that heavily and that big back up at that speed. Evidence number 2. The sound of the cheese being thrown in and the eating sounds like something not rat-like has consumed it. But the sound from when Mono jumps in sounds like the rats are attacking him. Take a listen to the audio. But why would they sound so different? If there are rats trapped in there who are starving and desperate, truth is they would eat mono if needed, not be picky. So really the sound shouldn't be all that different, not to mention how fast the cheese was consumed. Evidence number 3. Rats and mice are very good climbers, and can even climb up vertical walls if it's rough enough, which to me would be perfect for this hole, as someone has spent a lot of time in there trying to escape by burrowing with spoons, and you can even see the leftover evidence of the removed concrete, so the rats or mice wouldn't be trapped in there, especially as they could also just burrow even further till they found an escape route. So, with the evidence there, what could it be? I'm not entirely convinced it's just rats. I believe it could be a creature created, another one of the doctor's experiments, and here's why. When we chuck unwanted items into the pit, it chucks them back. We see the same behaviour in the mannequins when we hand them the ball. It seems to hold it for a split second and then chucks it back again, yet Mono never gets the same fate. We see broken body parts, that of a shoe and foot, and that part of an arm or leg. We also know that the humanoid created creatures are in these small rooms, which we see when the hands come out bursting through the doors in hopes to catch Mono, who is so innocently running down the corridor to avoid their clutches. But this room has a bit of a twist. Not only are these rooms locked and are prison rooms in themselves, this particular room is also gate locked and isolated from the other rooms. Notice the prison-like gates in front of the door and at the back further down the corridor. Is this the doctor's way of isolating his special experiments from all the others? They would have been very tall. Notice how the tally marks are all over each wall. If we compare this to Six's room, you can see that Six only drew in places she was able to reach, so we know it's less likely that a child was locked up in here, marking up those tallies. But whoever it was must have had help from someone little. And here's why. The gate that's been broken into would have had to have been done by someone small, based on the size of the opening, but why would they have needed the help of someone small? Spoons. How would someone who was trapped here be able to get so many spoons in order to try and dig their way out of here? There's a gap in the door that's perfect enough for someone to sneak them spoons, and even cans of food. You can even see evidence of the person getting out of the hole, as there is dirt marks on the left side of the floor that is bigger towards the entrance, but lessens towards the door. This also makes me wonder if the toilet we see is actually filled with excess dirt. As if you're digging a hole, you need somewhere to remove the dirt while you're digging. And it looks like it was being hidden in the toilet in the room where you find the piece of cheese. If this was a created creature, it could be down there with rats, or could it have been a special experiment and had been crossed with a rat? It's possible, but what if the hole and the creature in it, rat or not, isn't what the secret room is all about? What if I told you I theorise that there is a link to the moor here, and a very well-known character in it? Someone who was made here, someone who, in their description, escaped to the outside world to the moor. Someone whose long arms would be perfect to write on the tallest parts of these rooms without a single problem. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. What if I told you I theorise that this room is the janitor's room and where he was kept and he had escaped from? We have already found evidence of a room where we see the janitor's mask linking him here. Even if we take a look at his behaviour at the moor and tie it into this very room, it actually adds up. The rat sounds, the janitor's obsession with being able to catch them and hang them upside down, the spoons. We witness the janitor weirdly reacting to a spoon in the toy room at the moor. Could it be because he remembers digging his way out of the place with hundreds of spoons? We also know that the person who was created and trapped in this room would have to have had some sort of free-thinking ability. The Doctor wouldn't have had full control over them, as if that was the case, they wouldn't have tried to escape. And we know Roger, aka the janitor, isn't as he seems, and if this is true, this could mean that the janitor had help from a child to escape himself once. Could this be why he is so lenient on the children of the moor, and he seems a less aggressive enemy than most? And we have to remember, he is blind on the moor. We seem to see two different sides of him at times. The typical janitor who stops children from escaping and traps them in traps, wraps them up and places them on hooks, and then the janitor we see checking up on the sleeping children while a music box is playing a lullaby and chasing after an escaped child who he takes back to the room. It's interesting to think, is he really doing this because he's scared for the children to get out of the moor, to the more horror and nightmares that await them outside of the moor? Either way, this room has made me so excited to play the game and uncover more secrets and mysteries. But let me know what you guys think, ladies and gentlemen. Could this be the janitor's escape room? Something else? Let me know in the comments below. And with that being said, I'd like to take a quick minute to thank the members of the channel, and they are the following: That Girl with the Afro, North Wind, Kris Pyne, Mr. Dragon, Jessica DeHaro, Greenapple Gaming, NierNivone, Newly New, Elena, and DF. Thank you so much for your support, guys and gals. It's very much appreciated. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you ever so much for watching this theory video on Little Nightmares 2. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to drop a like and remember to hit subscribe if you're enjoying the content. It really helps me out a lot and boosts the channel a bit. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you the best morning, day or night wherever you are in the world. Stay safe and I will see you all in the next theory video. Bye!